your inability to talk or to tell your story would allow those who shouldn't be in certain places be in certain places because you have kept quiet. So I'm learning. It's not as if I've gotten there. I'm still growing. I'm still learning, but I'm learning how to tell my story. This is me. This is what I've done in the past, and this is what I intend to do in the future, and this is what I'm doing now.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Immigrant Story page. So good to know we still have you all, and thank you for your continuous subscription to the page. Much appreciated. Do what to always like, do what to always share, and do what to always leave a comment when each episode comes up. Today we've got the one and only Soore. This is a guy who's got so many accolades to his name. I'm just gonna leave the introduction for Soore to jump in. Soore, it's so good to have you with us on the show today. I've actually been looking forward to this. It's a pleasure. I'm humbled. Thank you very much. So, without further ado, can you just introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you very much, Samuel, for the opportunity to be on the show. Hello everyone, my name is Soore, and I moved to the UK about 4 years ago, and I've came through my masters, and I've been working for the past up to 3 years now, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. I know that was quite brief, but we're going to be jumping into our conversation that's going to tell you more of Soore, what he has done, and what he's currently doing as well. So we're going to start with a very brief question. And I like starting with this, outside the fact that after the introduction, I always like starting with your japa story. So what actually, I don't want to believe, let me not say that, but then what actually prompted you to want to come into the UK, and what made you feel like the UK was the best place for you to actualize everything you've planned, thought of, your aspiration and all of those?
Yes, the UK wasn't the country I wanted to jackpot to, quote unquote.
Or you refused the visa like Canada did to me?
In fact, I didn't even try the Canada route. So I'd gotten admission to the US, Illinois Institute of Technology. I was to study in the School of Business, Energy and Sustainability. That was in mid-2020, and I got a scholarship of $20,000. Sorry. So that 20K was to be split between the first year and the second year. And guess how much the full tuition fee was?
75 grand?
No.
150.
Over 100. And I'm like, so I started to see what I could do. You have 10K off. Try to raise the the rest, and it became very, very, very difficult. It was super expensive. Even though the US has the best schools, and of course, if you school there, your opportunities to become a global professional working in the energy space is quite high. So I realized that I couldn't afford it at the end. Carving out almost about 50K extra or more, including visa, travel, accommodation, living expenses, was just a lot of money to cough out. So in fact, I started 1 or 2 classes in July and early August.
That was online, yeah?
Yeah, that was online before having to move to to the US and then continue. But I just couldn't follow up, and because I was working in Nigeria, in an energy consulting company, and then working the day, then in the night, you are taking classes. It wasn't a lot. It was a lot to deal with. So I decided to pause that, and then my dad, asked me to look at the UK. And then, but I'd already applied to universities in the UK. I think I applied to seven universities in the UK, and I got into 7. And one was the most affordable, which was Teesside. And I was like, okay, I'll just go with Teesside and start my journey. So education was the route, which I used to immigrate, immigrate to the UK. But the trigger point for the japa story for me was NSAS in 2020.
Okay.
My respect and condolences to families who lost children, who lost their people who lost their parents, and it was a very sad incident in Nigeria back then. But the trigger for me was the president's speech after that tragic incident.
Yeah.
It was a very insensitive speech, having known what had happened, how the whole country, there was a wave of sadness across the country. And then we're waiting for the president's speech to give us hope and to cheer us up and to reassure us of that things will get better. Police brutality, SARS, there was a lot of things happening, governance, ending bad governance basically, and then, people were waiting for the president to address the situation and to assure us of hope.
Yeah.
But it basically watered down, and basically rubbished, the experience and everything that has happened, and made it look like everything was a lie. And after that speech, I realized that okay, maybe it's time to be more serious about this. Leaving the UK, and after that, was able to raise money and then moved to the UK. So,
yeah, that's quite a very interesting story. Just understanding in terms of context-wise, what actually led to Soore's movement to the UK. I actually never really knew that US was your first choice, to be honest. I thought I'd always been the UK. And from what he's been saying, just going back to Teesside, just reminded me of how we met. So I schooled in Teesside as well. And some day, I was holding my phone and some messages came in from LinkedIn. It was this guy. So it was asking about Teesside and all of that, and that was where the whole conversation just sprang up from there. And finally he got in and we got to meet, and the relationship just moved in from there. And to be honest, it's been a very interesting, educating and enlightening relationship between myself and Soore. I think Soore is he's a go-getter, and in a way that has rubbed off on me. And I think he's going to be touching, in respect to that, he's going to be touching one or two things he's done, both home and abroad, which I think it's going to be like a motivation for every immigrant out there who is aspiring to do something and just waiting for the trigger point or the trigger word or the trigger video to watch. This might just be the video for you to do that thing you want to do. So but then again, I think when Soore was doing his introduction, he didn't mention where he works. So I know in between the conversation, he's mentioned energy, he's mentioned sustainability, he's mentioned business, he's mentioned that. So we're just going to give him the platform again to tell us about the professional space.
Okay, my professional journey. I will start from Nigeria. So my first degree was in civil and environmental engineering. Okay. And engineering structures, I realized in my final year that I wasn't cut out for structural engineering. I'm someone that is outgoing and want to relate with people and see how engineering affects the environment, affects people, and structural engineering just didn't cut it for me. And in my final year, I had the opportunity to be part of the program, which was sponsored by the World Bank and the World Bank, blah blah blah. I can't remember the full program I went for, but it was facilitated by someone in the University of Lagos at the time, and had ties with I think I can't remember the US body now. And then it was an energy efficiency program, and it was for 2 days, and that was the insight and the knowledge inside I sort of needed to so okay, I'm environment and energy is a space that that really cuts it for me. And I did my after I left the University of Lagos, my first degree, I got an internship with a telecoms company called Ep5 in Nigeria. And I was a sales intern, so working in the business development team, doing market analysis, who are the players in the market, how are we priced in the market, how do we get customers, what was our pipeline looking at, which areas did we have coverage, and how can we get more business clients and things like that. So that was my first job straight out of university after studying engineering. But it was a very challenging 6-7 months with IPNX. But I realized that, and I always knew that, that I always wanted to work in energy. Because I had done that program I just mentioned about. And then an opportunity came up with a company that was just starting in Nigeria at the time, Strategy. This was Soore leaving a already structured corporate company in IPNX to a company that was just starting Alapere in K2 Lagos. Like on surface level it didn't make sense, but I just knew that I wanted to work in the energy space, and this for me was the opportunity, and I went into it, and I started. I worked really hard in strategy in Lagos. People knew me in Lagos, knew how I was like the front person for strategy for a while, and people thought that was my business. But I gave myself to it. I remember my first day in strategy. It was still it was like a 2-bed house, and everyone was scattered. And I know
this is where I'm working.
This is where I'm going to be working. But I'm a Christian, and one thing I did was to go touch all the chairs. I remember this vividly. Nobody had come there. It was just me. Somebody else had resumed. That was the second staff. The guy that was the first staff hadn't come yet. So I came early on the day when I was to resume, and I laid hands on all the chairs in the house. Quote unquote. It wasn't a structured office, but it was still a house. There were chairs and tables to work, and I just prayed, for God's favor, and because I knew that was the start of something new for me in my career. And and then from there, worked in strategy for almost 3 years. Then that was the last company I worked with before moving to the UK. But before leaving strategy, when I knew that I was moving to the UK and I was traveling to the UK, and I had put in my visa application and things like that, I just knew that I'd spent almost 3 years, thereabouts, working in the energy sector in Nigeria. And I didn't want to move to the UK to do anything else. I still felt energy was where I needed to be. And I started to apply for jobs even before my visa came out. In fact, maybe before I had even applied for visa, for my student visa to move to the UK, I started to put in applications. And I was very strategic with how I was applying for jobs because I had worked in the energy sector in Nigeria, and I knew what was the latest developments happening in the country, which was renewables and blah blah blah, and government funding to carry out many projects and energy efficiency. So I looked for companies that had ties with sub-Saharan Africa, and how did I find these companies? So the UK Embassy, the UK Department of International Trade would have webinars and seminars, and they would invite companies that are based in the UK or wanted to move their products to the sub-Saharan African market. So I went to their website, the UK Department of International Trade, look for those companies they had invited for events or to speak about their services and their products and the opportunity within the sub-Saharan African market. And I, noted, those companies and the founders of those companies. And what I did was to send them emails. That's question you would ask me is how did you find their email?
How did you find their emails? Yeah.
Good question. There's a platform called rocketreach.com. That anyone who is a professional that's working, if you sign into RocketReach, you'll be able to access their work emails. So I was able to get the work emails from many companies, with rocketreach.com. I think it's rocketreach.com. and and I sent emails to about 10 or 15 companies. One of the companies I work with today was one of the companies I sent email to because I knew the kind of companies I wanted to work for in the UK, but at the same time, I was sending emails to the big ones and of course to the smaller companies. And this is me that is going in for a master's degree. No, not that I was going in for a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I sent emails to a couple of companies, and one of the team assistants of one of the companies I sent an email to responded to me. Thank you for your email. You have a really good experience. That was the feedback, but I didn't know that she had forwarded my cover letter and my CV to the MD of the company because it was a small company. It wasn't a very big company. And then I didn't even know because this company was already working in Congo DRC and doing some feasibility studies in Mozambique. But I had no clue that this company wanted to do anything in Nigeria. And they sent my CV. So I started my interview process with this company before my visa came out in Nigeria. So I was still working in stratagem, but I was already interviewing for this role in London.
But let me quickly break you. So I'm just trying to understand how did you structure the letter? You were coming for a master's, but then you're putting in an application for a job. So did you tell them you're coming in for a master's?
Yeah.
And how is that going to work based on the coming in for your master's is a restriction and limits to you working?
Yes.
So how did you convey those information and how did they accept it to just give you the offer then?
Yeah, so in my introductory email, I am Jesusoorefunmi Olaoye, that's my full name. I have X number of experience working in the Nigerian market. I'll be moving to the UK for my master's degree, and I have 20 hours availability to work with the business. I'm looking for, so the subject of the email would be application for part-time role. So that was the subject of the email.
Yeah.
Application for operational role, part-time operational role, part-time business support role. I was trying to put in different, business support. I've done project management, business analysis, business management, and things like that with stratagem. So that was my experience. So that was how I was structuring my email to say that I was coming in for a master's degree, but I also have 20 hours availability to work with any company. And this company, gave me a chance and they sent me an offer. So I moved to the UK in January 2020. Did my final interview with the MD in January 2020. And February 2020, they sent me an offer for a job. And luckily for me, or blessed me, the offer came with a sponsorship at the end of my master's degree. So, and this is me just applying, being intentional, doing the right things. It was until I began to engage with people during my master's degree that I realized that people were looking for sponsored job, not knowing what I'd already gotten. even while just starting my master's degree.
Yeah, I think that's quite a lot Soore has actually said. It's possible. It's even possible to get a job in Nigeria before coming for your master's, which I think his story is a good testament of that so far. It's just the intentionality and information. If I have gotten this kind of information on time, probably it's something I would have ventured into. But yeah, I think I'm glad he's sharing this, and you out there probably looking at moving to the UK or moving to other countries. It's not necessarily the UK, but it's something you can also replicate for other countries, being that you're immigrating to a different country, US, Canada, or any other country. It's something I believe you can also replicate as well. And I think it's going to be a very good experience you can leverage on you working and schooling. So at the end of the day, when you're even putting for a full-time role, it's not going to be difficult because you've already got in the country experience, which is most times a majority when you're applying for this job. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Soore. This is like a gem we can all leverage on, and just when you're putting in your application to study outside of Nigeria, this is something you can leverage, and it's very, I think it's a plus for individuals who's got like a country experience back home, be it Nigeria, be it Kenya, Cameroon, wherever you're put in your application form. It's just an opportunity to reiterating the fact that your experience back home, it's not useless. It's something you can leverage on big time and just make life quite easy for you immigrating to a different country. So Soore, you can continue.
Okay. So I started working with the company Gomia Power Networks. And what the company was doing was to support the development of microgrid projects in the sub-Saharan African market. And I was also brought in to see what we could do in the UK market as well. This is while studying for my master's degree as well. So I was able to do that. I was able to combine. At some point it was stressful. At some point it was very easy. I was able to combine both. I remember there were times, when I have two meetings ongoing. One laptop for work, one laptop taking a class virtually as well. But yes, I did that. During the holidays, they allowed me to work full time, 40 hours, so which was also great. And this job also helped me to finish paying my school fees because I had not finished paying my school fees. So when they paid, each month, part of the salary goes into balancing, my school fees and also supporting myself as well. So I did that, finished my master's degree. But when I was almost finishing my master's degree, I didn't want Gomia to be the only company, that was just on the table. So I wanted to say, okay, I have 18 months experience, working with a company in the UK.
Yeah.
Let me widen my
reach.
my reach. But I remember before doing my project for my master's, my dissertation, in January 2022, I just developed an interest in the hydrogen sector in the UK. It's an upcoming vibe, and people were talking about it, and there was government funding to investigate how hydrogen could be used, in support of the grid system as well. And that's what I decided to do for my dissertation. It was a very, very bold move from me. So that cost me my distinction in my master's degree, but I'd gotten the relevant knowledge and insights on the hydrogen market. And then the opportunity that came up after that was a job on a government-funded hydrogen program. And I thought I'd messed up in the interview, but I got the job. And so my company that so after the contract I had with them, initial contract, I was like, oh, I've gotten another opportunity. Can you match the salary? And I got a definite response. There was no response from them. So I left and I moved to this new opportunity. But before moving to this new opportunity, there was a program that came up with OVO, which was a mentorship program to be mentored by senior leaders within OVO. And so I wasn't interested in it. It was my girlfriend at the time that sent me the opportunity. And then so I was like, in the middle of the night, I was like, let me just apply, let me just see what comes out of this mentorship opportunity. It was after then I realized that 5 people would get an internship placement with this company. This company, so OVO is one of the big 6 energy retailers in the UK. And I was able to get into the mentorship program. There was a challenge. I got in for the internship, 8 to 10 weeks internship. But I didn't do 10 weeks internship because I'd gotten another job in hydrogen. So I told them that, see guys, yes, I'll do this internship, but I have another offer with a company working on hydrogen. And we're like, oh, hydrogen, oh, nice, oh, good. I did one in the internship. And 1 week into my new role with the hydrogen company program, OVO decided to offer me a permanent role within OVO. Mind you, the first company wanted to sponsor my visa with an offer. I said no. I moved to this hydrogen company which sponsored my visa. So OVO also wanted to sponsor my visa. So I got 3 visa sponsored opportunities. So at the end, I had to refund the university. OVO refunded me. OVO sponsored my visa. So I didn't lose in any way. OVO was able to pay for my visa, and so I've been with OVO for about 2 years now. So working in energy. I started on solar and battery, but now I'm now a commercial manager looking after insulation, how proper homeowners in the UK market can insulate their homes and to reduce energy cost and of course increase the value of their homes as well.
Yeah, you know why I laughed or why I giggled a couple of seconds ago. I was like, hot cake. This guy not hot cake. imagine 3 companies wanting to sponsor your visa. What we're begging one company to do so. It's a very interesting story because in a way I saw Soore through this process. Like I was like when he was experiencing all of this, I was present in that journey in a way. And what I want to understand in all of this is what you've said so far. There's so many positivity, so many gems people can pick out of it and replicate in their own journey. But I want to understand the how competitive and discomforting the situation was, like managing. I know you've touched on it a bit, but we want to stress on that a little more. Managing your masters and doing this, working part-time, full-time during break time, and looking into putting opportunity to other company, undergoing interview process. It's like, come on man, you were doing so much within split seconds, minutes, like within a very short period of time. And I think all of this, it might be easy in a way because you probably have structured that things, you've structured that plans, put things in place and said this is what you want to achieve within this time frame and that and that. But then I want to understand how difficult, what was the disappointment, if there was any, and the discomfort that comes with all of this.
So first of all, I had a plan before moving to the UK, which was to get a job in the energy sector in the UK. I've had interactions with people in the past, and people just move to the UK without any plan. People just think, okay, I'll do a master's in this, and then I'll get a job. In the UK, experience sells. Your ability to connect your previous experiences to the role you're applying for would really help you. What I did and I learned how to do was to sell my experience. Having worked in Nigeria in the energy sector, I had a really strong foundation to help me secure a job anywhere else, because I'd worked 3 years in Nigeria, worked in a relevant market, in a relevant industry, sold myself as someone who had worked in Nigeria, who was now working with a company in London, developing projects in Congo DRC, Mozambique as well. And then, trying to sell myself in other jobs and opportunities I've been able to get as well. So there should be a connecting dot. So I see people who do banking in Nigeria and then you do oil and gas here. So sometimes maybe age factor can be a barrier, depending on the kind of visa you want to get. You must be able to connect your experience. If you've done finance in Nigeria, and you want to switch into IT, your experience and your story must be compelling, and you must have the skills to back it up, because the visa people like to apply for is a skilled work visa.
Yeah.
That name is a skilled work visa. It is not a generalist, visa. It's a skilled work visa. So you should be skilled in something. You should have an experience in a market or something that, when you marry both together, gives you a very good, puts you in a very good position to be able to secure a role. Except if you are coming in for a junior role, where that you are coming in as a graduate trainee, and then you grow and ranks, and that one, age has to be on your side. You can't come at 40 plus and say you want to now do like a graduate training.
Yeah.
It's be a difficult one. But back to your question on managing both, I just had to. We Nigerians and we, maybe Africans, and this may come out wrong, but maybe we just know how to just hustle. Yeah. I had friends doing my master's degree that were working, taking shifts, factoring. I remember my first 2 weeks in Middlesbrough. My flatmate, told me that there was a job, and it was a picker and packer role. You go to a waste factory and you sort waste. He told me that I'm not interested. I said no. After he came back from the first shift, oh my god, it's back. And we've just learned how to also through situations. Till we find. Now this person I'm talking about now works for BT as a research engineer or something like that, and he's a very, very brilliant data analyst. And I think they will put him on the program for his PhD, because he's contributing massively to some of the research programs they're doing at BT, British Telecoms. So I just also think is the basic thing. So maybe during the day I have classes, I have meetings at work. In the midnight is when I'm able to maybe take out 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
If there's an assignment, focus on the assignment, do that. The following night, if there's a task at the office that needs to get done, spend some time, go to the library, focus on key 2 hours, do what is needed and just make it work. And yeah, that was how I was able to do that across, for 1 year, 6 months through my master's program.
That's really, I think one thing I did pick from what he said so far is he had a plan. It's very important, and I think that's where the narrative comes, where you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
So having a plan just actually, I think it simplifies the process. You know what you're doing and when you're doing it, and I think it just puts structure in place, you put pattern and structures in place. So it's very important that when you want to japa, regardless of where you're going to, plan is a necessity. I think plan can easily help you navigate your way when you get there. Start seeking information from even when you're home. You don't really necessarily need to get to where you are going to before you start seeking information. And I think that's one thing this platform has tend to want to bring out for everyone who's immigrating to a different country, putting out information that can actually help you navigate your path when you're making that move. And one other thing I think is, I think Soore was also bent on networking, because I think there was a time back in school when I opened our school page and I saw this guy's face and experience. So I was like, when did this guy do this one? How come? What happened?
No, that's story actually. I was contacted by, I don't know. So I sent a mail to the international admissions team about helping Africans.
Yeah.
Helping Africans settle maybe in academically or something like that. And the response I got was, fill this form to tell your story. It will be a good way to start.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for that, featuring by the university.
Yeah.
But, based on my question on how to support all other people, they're like, okay, the first way you can support people is by being featured.
Yeah.
So even me too, when I saw myself, I'm like, this is big. Until today, if you search my phone name on Google, that article comes up, and it was a plus for me because I wasn't looking for it, and it just came.
And I think just emphasizing on helping people, supporting people, I think it's actually led to Soore putting together Energized Black, which he's going to stress upon as well. And I think he's also emphasized he's a Christian from the onset of our conversation, which has also led to him creating Reconcile, which is a massive believers platform growing in the UK, which he's still going to touch about as well. But I just want to go back to the essence of networking. I know Soore is big on networking. He's been on so many networking events and putting contact connection in place. But I just want you to emphasize on how has that contributed to every move you've made, and how that has positioned you in where you are today, if it did play a part in it, and how that has created a lasting relationship with industry professionals in relative to your career.
One thing I try to tell people is that for me, I emigrated out of Nigeria. That involves leaving something behind and picking up something else in the country where you're going. So it might be language, it might be the cultural, it might be food, it might be dressing, it might be, but not also losing yourself. I try to tell people to be, and even myself, I tell myself to be authentic. I am Nigerian, I am Yoruba, my full name is Jesusoorefunmi, that is me. But I am now an immigrant in the United Kingdom. There is a wisdom, there is a way things work here. You can't just bring your old self and think you just fit in automatically in this new setup. You need to learn, how things are done here. Then now take a mix of your authentic self with the learnings and the people that you are meeting to now project a version of Soore that people will want to associate with, as well.
Yeah.
So people just come, just move, and the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you just do things, and you think it's just like you've moved out of your country, and now you are now in a new land. You need to learn the culture, you need to learn the language, and how you can do that is through these events. When there's an event where people are meeting to network and to discuss. Is to understand people. Oh, what do you do? How do you do what you do? How did you get here? By the time you talk to 20, 50, 100 people, you've picked something from 100 people that when you're now talking to the next 100 person or the 101st person, you are taking an experience of 100 people and you're packaging that into one conversation you're having with one person. And the person is now drawn to you because while you're a Nigerian, you've been able to pick things from other people across the board, but keeping your authentic self as well. So I really love engaging with people. I really love understanding how people make stuff, do stuff. For me, as a professional, I am currently at a level, but I know where I want to go maybe the next 10 years. Who are those that are currently at that? Who are those that are currently occupying where I want to be in 10 years' time?
Yeah.
How can I get closer to them? To begin to get insight of their journey and how they've been able to grow. For example, just to touch on networking, how I was able to know about this OVO, the OVO mentorship program with Alito Foundation, was through my girlfriend that I met in a community of Nigerians who had moved from, or Africans who had moved from Africa to the diaspora, for master's education. That was where I actually met my girlfriend and now my fiance. And now, she saw the opportunity and was like, oh, do you want to apply for this? I mean, I already had a job, but I was like, okay, I'll just go for it anyways. And, meeting people, coming out of your comfort zone. People don't want to meet with other people. Sometimes you check some Africans net, group of friends, and it's still the same people you've been relating with for 20 years when you were in Nigeria. You've now moved out to a new land. While it is important to keep your circle of friends, you need to make more friends. And how can you make more friends? It's attending events. Maybe there's a Christian event, or there's a professional event, or something for startups, or if you get on events right, there's always events almost every single day, either virtual or physical. Take time out to just attend. You won't know who you would meet. You will know an experience or an insight that you need to structure yourself or structure anything that you want to do. And that's where how some insights I got on structuring Reconcile, structuring and Energize Black, as well, really helped. And also, I'm somebody that loves helping people. I remember during my master's program, on our class group chat, almost every single day, or maybe once in 2 days, I'm posting a job opportunity for someone.
I can attest to that.
Because I had gotten something, and in conversations, I understood the struggles people were facing. And I'm like, okay, since I've gotten something, I have a job, maybe I'd done exam or the assignment wasn't too tasking or anything. I was like, okay, just go on LinkedIn, go on platforms, search for opportunities and just share. There are some good testimonials I've gotten, or good feedbacks I've gotten from people who have applied for those jobs. And sometimes I don't talk about it publicly, but it's something that you can do to just add to somebody, to somebody's life.
Yeah.
So naturally, I love meeting people. I love helping people. So that's opened me up to opportunities, to at the highest level. My current mentor is a chief exec in business, and that's opened me up to people, to senior leaders within the business, outside the business, and I'm meeting people and I'm gaining insights across the board. So when someone sees me, I want to know them, they want to know me, and I'm not just coming from the point of need, but I'm coming from the point of something I've done. I'm telling my story that this is me.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And let's discuss, rather than coming with the angle of, or maybe visa restrictions or this or that. But I try to put that aside and let's engage on man to woman, about a topic, about about something, and let's discuss. And most often than not, from our conversation, the conversation just keeps happening because you're bringing value, and it is not a parasitic sort of relationship.
100%. Yeah. But sure, thank you very much for sharing that, because Most times it can be. I think one point I did picked up as well was the place of the need for mentorship. This takes me back to the normal Nigerian narrative that what an old man sees while sitting down, even while you climb the tallest of trees, you still cannot see. I think those people, in terms of mentors, they've gone through life and they understand how the process, life in this context, like career-wise, they understand how the process works, and just them helping you navigate your way, speeding up the process. And I think I was in an event today and they said, learn to ask for help, because most times we feel experience is the best teacher, but it's very expensive because it might cost you so much. Why someone has actually experienced that and you can actually learn from them rather than you experiencing it and going through all the hustle and tussle. So having a mentor just helps simplify, the whole process for you as well. But yeah, that's really really good to hear.
How I was able to also strengthen my relationship with one of my mentors was my ability to tell my story. As Africans, so one thing I've learned from a traditional British person is the ability to communicate, to tell a story around almost anything. And the coherence in how they communicate that story, you just buy into whatever they're selling to you. So one thing I've also been able to learn is my ability to tell my story. My passion, what drives me. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I working in the energy sector? So if I'm introducing myself in a professional setting, I would talk about Nigeria plus how I got to the UK plus what I'm doing now and the value of what I'm doing now to the public, as well. And from there, opportunities come up. But one thing I would really like to pass across today is our ability to tell a good story. You're meeting someone for the first time in a random stranger in a professional setting, whatever setting. Have your lines, like have something to say, and to be coherent, be confident, be bold. Sometimes even when people are even saying absolutely nonsense, the boldness at which they communicate is to really shock you. When you know that what they are saying is nonsense, but your inability to talk or to tell your story would allow those who shouldn't be in certain places because you have kept quiet. So I'm learning. It's not as if I've gotten there. I'm still growing. I'm still learning, but I'm learning how to tell my story. This is me. This is what I've done in the past, and this is what I intend to do in the future, and this is what I'm doing now. And so once I do that, then it drives the conversation. It drives how we discuss and how we communicate. So I did that to my mentor, and she bought into not just my career, but she bought into me as a person. And then like I just texted her on WhatsApp. She's sending me pictures from her holidays. I'm telling her, this is the next thing I want to do. She's like, let's have a conversation about it. So that, sure, do you need X and Y and Z? Or let me introduce you to X, Y. Like, and it's benefiting her because I'm also impacting her as well, telling her things. She's telling me stuff that I can use to grow myself in my career as well. So having a mentor is absolutely important, and especially in this place, in this new country where we are in, whatever country you are in, have a mentor, somebody with the same color with you, who has grown through the ranks in that country. Also try to have a close ally or a sponsor, someone who is a native and indigenous of a local in that country. Have that person as a close person as well. So while somebody is telling you their stories as an immigrant, somebody is also giving you insights on what you can do to grow, and to develop and to get to the highest level in that country that you moved to as well. So having those two sets of people are super important, as an immigrant in a new country like the UK in this instance.
You see, I cannot really overemphasize how much of a strategist this guy is. So I think just going back to being confident, bold to tell you, and learning how to tell your story just took me back to my chemistry teacher. God bless his soul. He's like, now listen, whatever you do, even if you're saying rubbish, be confident in your rubbish. So it's very, I think the need for confidence cannot really be overemphasized in our corporate space, because just like you said, your inability to tell your story puts someone who can in a position where you're supposed to be. So guys, get up. So yeah, I think quite a lot has been shared so far, but then like I said, Soore has this thing for helping people, putting together a platform that can actually help people achieve one or two things, which is the most important thing is whatever he's doing, it's tied back to his value. So value in the sense that he's energy focused, he's Christ-like, and I think those are like two platforms. Ones I currently know of. I don't know if there are others that I think he's actually pushing, promoting and propagating this time around. So I'm just gonna give him the audience to, like, you know, put that out for anyone who's interested. First, share what that is all about. If you find yourself in that space and you think it's a place where you can learn from, contribute from, and like vibe with the community of like-minded individuals, you're actually welcome to join. So Soore, just shed more light on Energize and then Reconcile.
Okay, I will start with Energize Black and then Reconcile. So like I've said in the past, and someone else just said as well, I've always had this thing in me for building things and for building communities that impact people positively in whatever sphere. If I take it back to where it started from, I can't remember, but I've always been involved in church, in being in the youth team in church. Then, you know, I was a prefect, you know, then in secondary school. Then in university, in my final year, I was the coordinator for workshops and field trips in my final year. I don't think I really did anything there, but we were able to organize one workshop with ProEdge, you know, one enterprise, like social enterprise like that. I've always been involved in community building, so that add value to people. Then, so when I was doing my master's, like I said before, I was always posting opportunities, you know, in the WhatsApp group where people can apply. Sometimes people ask me, how do you find these opportunities? I'm like, I just know how to find opportunities. Like, you know, sometimes I tell people that there are not so many people that can beat me with researching for jobs, because like I've connected with people, I have seen platforms, you know, I have done things that, you know, with just quick, you know, research, I can find stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, then I'll just share opportunities on the group, let people do. After my master's, I opened a WhatsApp group, you know, called Susty Jobs. And then people just see, if you're looking for jobs in energy, sustainability, conservation, fill this form and join this WhatsApp group. And what I just do there is to post jobs. So you're looking for a job, you know, just join there in this sector, because that's my area. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacy, I'm not a banker, but I work in the energy and sustainability space. So I know what is happening there. So in terms of jobs, in terms of projects, I know. Mm-hmm. So I'll just share, you know, the things I see. Then last year, I was with a friend in Birmingham, and we're just discussing about opportunities for people and groups like that. And we just decided to say, okay, see, let's start something. So we started Energize Black, and Energize Black is a community of Black talents and Black professionals who are looking to get into the energy sector and the environmental sector, who are looking to grow in their career. So you're already working in the industry. You're looking to develop, you're looking to grow, looking to acquire necessary skills, network with other Black talents as well, and then also growing in your career. So it's to basically help build that community of Black energy professionals across the UK who are working in anything related to energy. So you're a finance professional working in energy, you're a legal person, you are a consulting, you're an investor, you're a business owner. You know, Energize Black is that community where we are helping Black talents, you know, building that, you know, platform that promotes Black excellence and helping people to grow and develop in their respective careers. So my passion for helping people is just reflected in Energize Black, and particularly within the Energize Black, I look after Get Hired. so helping people secure jobs in the energy sector, and also providing market insight on what's happening in the sector, how can you grow. And a team I also look after is also working on school career tour, so going to universities to spur students' interest in the energy sector.
Yeah.
That's one. Then Reconcile UK. So I'm a Christian, and ever since I moved to the UK, I've just had this thing for evangelism and ensuring that more people get to know about the Lord. Those who are also Christians who have journeyed away from God, bringing them back, to God. And it started with my involvement with what's our community called in Middlesbrough? Living Streams.
Yeah.
So we did a couple of evangelism outreaches with Living Streams. And because I'm an outgoing person and I love talking to people, so either God or career, anyhow you want to, I can engage. So that part of me comes out in evangelism. And then in 2022 December, I just wanted personally to have a more committed evangelical lifestyle. So that, okay, maybe once a week or once a month, I'm out on the streets talking to people about Jesus.
Yeah.
But I wanted a team to hold me accountable. So maybe like 2 or 3 people, let's just do it simple. But as soon as we started, more people began to join and more people began to join. So what started as a team of 7 or so at the time has now grown to a team of about 140. So community of Reconcile is about 140 plus people all go out in London, Manchester, Birmingham, Norwich, Liverpool, Bournemouth to preach the gospel. And if you also want to join and you're in a different city and you have a team of friends who also want to do it, you can join us and we can all do this together. Energize Black now has a community of over 300 members, who are also spread across the UK. Professionals, students who are looking to work in the energy sector. So I am also working full time. And I also have a fiance. So I'm still learning how to manage my time and manage my 24 hours to distribute evenly across these various things I'm involved in as well.
This guy is a jack of all trades. Yeah, it's really amazing to see how both of this platform has grown within a short period of time. I think that's an evidence to show that you're doing something right. It's an evidence to show that it's something people really want. It's something of value people are buying in. And in as much as the WhatsApp space for Energize Black is over 300, it's amazing to know that the LinkedIn profile for Energize Black is over 400 followers. So over 500 now. So the growth is just amazing. And to see this, how Reconcile has gone just beyond one city, 2, 3, it's amazing to see the success. So let's say by the end of the year, you're looking into your review for the year. It's amazing to see the growth difference between January and December. And just like I said, just to emphasize, it's obvious that it's something of value. So what's going to happen if it's something you're interested in, be it Energize Black, be it Reconcile, I'm going to attach the link in the description of this video, so you can join as well and just meet communities of like-minded individuals that can help you either in your career journey or your Christian life. But yeah, I know all of this has been so rosy in terms of the conversation, seeing you just planning and executing, and it looks so easy for you to achieve. What has been the most challenging of all of this so far? You just using the 1 second smoke, to reflect on your journey quickly and just say what has been the challenge and how you were able to navigate that space quickly.
I would say time management. I know time management and my ability to be there for my friends. Because sometimes I get text messages from very close friends, saying that I did this, you're not there, you've not been available, or people just automatically think Soore is busy, and people never reach out to me. Sometimes people forget to reach out to me, or I even forget to reach out to people because I have been super involved in the things I am doing at the moment. So my ability to, whilst doing what I'm doing, ensuring that I am not losing friends, I am not losing people that are very close to me as well. So I'm learning how to balance, or of course, I may get my fingers burnt, here and there. I'm not prophesying, but I just need to learn. I'm just calling myself out in how I can ensure that I am there for people who are really close to me, and I'm not losing friends.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look as if I'm going this way and people who are supposed to be close to me are dropping off because I'm too focused on what I want to do. So yeah, ability to manage my time to ensure that I keep adding value to people with the various things I'm involved in. Keeping people really close to me, close family, friends, close as well. And I would say succession planning, even from day one as well. Is my ability to say after 5 years, I want to leave Energized Black, and there's somebody there that I know that okay, this person also has an ability, and I can pass that, or be the co-founders of Energized Black can identify the next leaders that can continue to build that as well. Even within Reconcile as well, sometimes I get overworked, or maybe my ability not to delegate properly just brings everything to my table, and I'm having to do all things myself. So my ability to also delegate responsibility and identifying those who I can build, who I can train, who I can lead, for them to also step up and build as well. It sounds very grand, but it is good for me, someone like me, to begin to think about things like this now, so that in the next 5 to 10 years, other people like me, even better than I am, can begin to step up and also provide a good platform for anyone who is coming behind, to learn safely and also to grow, as well, and make impact. So time management, making time for and being there for people that are really close to me, and succession planning for people coming behind as well.
Yeah, that's really fantastic to know, especially the succession. But yeah, it's amazing how people create things and just want to be at the forefront of it without thinking of how it's going to outgrown them, like them not being in this space, but this is still functioning really well and like making impact. So yeah, that's actually a good point as well. I think I've got 2 more questions so we can round up. I think we've spent quite a lot of time already, but yeah, I think one more question is going to be, probably you might have highlighted it, or probably I might think this is what it is, but what would you say has been your greatest achievement, like as an immigrant in the UK since the year 2021 till this current point? I don't want to think it's Energized or Reconcile. I just want to leave the platform for you to answer that, and then just reflect on your journey in a way.
I think if you know Soore, you either know Soore as a Christian or you know Soore as an energy professional. And I think those are the 2 biggest sort of achievements for me. Not even my professional career growth. It would be Energized Black and Reconcile. Energized Black because I'm passionate about people development. And through Energized Black, I've been able to gather Black talents, professionals, and provide a platform. I'm not building an Energized Black by myself, so there are other 2 co-founders there as well, so that people don't think, Energized Black is Soore. And we've been able to build that community in such a way that more people, can connect with other Black talents. Sometimes I'm in workshops, meetings in good places where I'm the only Black person, or only 2 or 3 of us are Blacks, and the remaining 99 or 97 of us are whites or others of cultures. And the next Black person I can see if I'm the only person is either the security at the door or the person serving food or something. So I have a passion for ensuring that people grow in their careers, and also people have a close relationship with God. You can't be Soore's friend and you are not uptight when it comes to serving the Lord or being involved in having a close relationship with God or knowing about God. I'll just quickly touch on something. I have a friend who knows me. Soore, serious guy, this one, that one. And one day, I just felt like to ask him a simple question. When last did you go to church? And he was like, baba, man, guys, also, we guys. And I think for 10 minutes straight, or for 5 to 10 minutes straight, the way I spoke to him, and this guy is my friend. The way I spoke to him like my younger brother. And it was a very hardcore conversation to get serious with God. And from that point, he decided to to get serious with the Lord. So while I'm building people's career, maybe reconcile, we take that top spot, because while I'm building other people, I also don't want to suffer in my relationship with God as well. So it's helping people get closer to the Lord, commit to sharing the gospel with other people as well, and maybe it all boils down to my ability to lead people as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm leading quite a number of people here and there, and people are waiting for me for an insight to drive something forward. So my ability to lead people, either to grow in their careers or get really close to God, maybe through reconciling and evangelism, would be it.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I said I don't want to say it because and then the church flag, I just wanted to leave the platform. So one more question. This is going to be the last one, hopefully. It's good to point out our achievement, and it's good to grow through the process, and it's good to achieve all of that which you have achieved as an individual. But all through all of this, what are you going to say are the lessons you've picked up from your journey so far that you can stand upon to actually provide insight for someone, help someone navigate, and just help people move forward? Just drawing from your lessons to simplify other people's process. So what has been the lesson so far? Maybe just in 1, 2, 3 words.
First word is intentionality. I was very intentional on what I wanted to do. Even when I had to change industries, from telecoms to starting in a space where nothing was really happening, and nothing was really happening there, and we had to build that as well in Nigeria. So if we talk about energy management in Nigeria now, people are playing in that space, but some of us did really, really, really serious work, to inform the market, partner with the government, partner with government agencies to bring that for commercial industries and commercial businesses and industries to be able to see that as important steps for them to reduce their energy cost at the time. So I was very intentional about what I wanted to do, and that's also reflected in my move to the UK. Second lesson would be get close to God. This should actually be the first. Get close to God. At each point of my life, I've been amazed about how God has favored me. I've someone that I've been incredibly favored. It's not just about my ability or my brilliance, or if I'm brilliant, or if I know anybody, if I know a network. It boils down to God's favor, and that's the favor I enjoy because I have a relationship with God. So the God factor, intentionality, and friends and network. In everything that you're doing, have people around you who are pushing you closer to where you want to be. People who have done it before, people who have built stuff or who are also doing the same. Come together, brainstorm, share ideas, and see how you can do better as well. So be close to the Lord, be intentional, and work really hard, also smartly, about the things you are interested in. It can be photography, it can be food. I have my sister, she loves making food, and she's been intentional about it as well. If it's food making, do it well. If it's energy like me, do your energy well. And lastly, get people close to you, people who spur you to getting the best of yourself. And I'm sure will rise to great heights as well.
And I think, just for emphasis, in terms of doing well, where the Bible says whatever you find to do, you just definitely do well. I know I said that was going to be the last question, but this is the last question. So what advice? This is focused on the immigrant community, just bringing lessons from what current immigrants are facing, how they're navigating through it, and seeing how that makes an impact for others who are immigrants or who are planning to immigrate into a different country. So what advice would you, I know someone might have grabbed 1 or 2 advice during the course of our conversation, from like the onset to the closing benediction of our whole conversation, but then what advice would you give to the immigrant community at large?
Okay. I think I've said this in different points. Have a plan. You're moving to the UK, you're moving to the US, have a plan. don't be emotional about your immigration. Don't just move, and then you can now come and things don't work exactly as planned. Sometimes you may have a plan, and your plan may change, or think the situations just become a bit too complex to handle. But you having a plan will help you to structure plan A, plan B. If this one doesn't work, this one can work and all. So have a plan. Aboyeji is an investor in Nigeria who has built businesses in Nigeria. He said something about raising money or getting investment for your business. That the best place to seek advice for raising money for your business is the person that has raised money before. So if you have someone that has moved into the UK and is doing well, have that person as your close friend. If you're in the US, have that person as your close friend. Particularly if it's a similar area you want to move to of interest. Have close people who are doing well in that space. One thing that I tried not to associate myself with was people who have had negative experiences in the UK. Because people feel like, apply for a job, getting a job, doing a master's degree, it's hard, it's not possible. They will give their people, people said that. Well, this is after me, I'd already gotten my job, but people were still saying that. So I was not even pushing my friends that and I have a friend now that, applied during his master's and was also able to get a proper job during his master's degree as well. And people think it's not possible, it's not that. People who have had negative experiences, maybe as a result of the system or as a result of them not putting in the right level of effort and work and planning to their experience, they now discourage those who are coming behind. Stay away from people like that. Associate yourself with people who are on a growth process, who are doing well, they've come in, they can share the experience. So maybe some of them even failed. But there's a sign of these guys are doing well. Get close to them. I've just moved here, or I'm planning to move here. What are the challenges? How can I plan? What can I do? Seek advice. The Bible says that in the multitude of counsel, your safety. So seek advice. Meet people, connect with them, and I'm sure that your move will be a good one at the end.
Fantastic. I cannot overemphasize how Soore has shared so much gem today. And to be honest, I think, coming from a place of friendship, he's someone I'm really proud of. Just looking at his journey from 2021 to this current moment, Soore has done really good for himself, and I'm not gonna lie, and he's got a fiance as well, so I don't want to mention her name, but shout out to you. This brings us to the final close of today's episode. It's been a long conversation, it's been a long one, and I think in between all of this, you pick one or two insights that you can apply to your own process and journey while immigrating to a different country. So definitely, I remain your humble host, Samuel, and please do well to subscribe, do well to share, do well to like, do well to leave a comment. And if Soore is someone you want to connect with, definitely his handle is going to be on the screen, or he can also do well to quickly share that before we round up, if you don't mind.
Yeah, on Instagram, Jesusoorefunmi, on Twitter, Kochi_show, LinkedIn, Jesusoorefunmi Olaoye. Where else?
TikTok.
I don't really use TikTok. But just actually, but if you go on Energize Black Instagram and reconcile, you'll find my handle and you can reach out as well.
So guys, definitely do well to reach out, and if you've got any question or you want to see anyone on this platform, do well to leave their name on the comment section. I will definitely reach out to them. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Signing out now. Peace.
Thank you.